Whew. Whew. All right, let's see. What am I doing today? I don't even know because I'm on a new. I don't even know because I'm on a new node, bro. New node, bro. I'm on. So I went through this whole string. So I think I'm going to go down to the next string down, but I'm going to start like in the middle somewhere. So let's start like on the fifth fret, and I'm going to go to this. Let's just start right here, and then I'm just going to go up and down this string, mapping up, which means we're mainly going to be mapping the upper bit, which means we have to count like the counterclockwise direction. So I'm going to do the same thing, but now we have multiple problems with this string. This is what I'm worst at. Some people like that are guitar masters end up playing down on these lower string or the the lower strings on the guitar, which are higher in pitch because it's because they're playing with a band and whatnot, and so therefore the low end is kind of taken by the bass, I would assume. Right? I kind of just noodle around myself as a stress relief, so I don't have to worry about that as much. But so down here, so that means that some people kind of use these thinner strings a lot more as like the primary place. But to me, it's going to be more confusing because that's where the fault line is. So one thing is you got the fault line right here. So this tectonic plate shifted to the right. So that's a problem. And the other problem is that now when I normally count, if I want to actually count the intervals and not just see the shape, then normally I'm counting downwards, and the lowest one is going to be the bass note of most chord constructions. But now I'm thinking about inverted chords because I'm thinking about going up this way and having that as basically the bass of it. So that becomes an issue. And when I'm on the string below it down here, like if I was on the string above it and then I'm crossing the fault line into this territory down here, I envisioned from the perspective of the place above it. So I envisioned that the fault line this tectonic plate is the one that shifted to the right, which messed everything up. But if I live on the one below it, if I live down here on this tectonic plate, then I'm going to say the opposite. I'm going to say, no, I stayed the same on my tectonic plate. It was you guys up top that shifted. This whole bit shifted to the left, to the right, right? So that's why I get confused. This shifted to the right, which would be equivalent of this shifting to the left. So from down here, I'm thinking, no, the big plate up there, my little plate stayed where it is. It's little, but it's strong. And you guys moved to the left and messed everything up. So I think that's the easiest way from perspective-wise to map it out, right? So if I'm counting from down here, I think about this plate shifted this way. But if I'm counting from up here down to here, then that plate shifted that way. All right. So I'm going to be on the Phrygian node. We'll count it up on the Phrygian node. I should change this bit here. I'm not even sure I tuned it today just to check the tuning.
Count from the Phrygian up the string 3 half steps to the root. All right, so 6 is Phrygian, go up 1 half step. 7 is Dorian. 8 is Mixolydian. 9 is Ionian. 10 is Lydian. 11 is Locrian. 12 is back to Aeolian. And since this is the high E string, fault line or not, you can just see the pattern. No tectonic drama. Just root, minor second, major second, major. Count clockwise. From Phrygian, up is Dorian. 7 is your Dorian. 8 Mixolydian. 9 Ionian. You're on the thin string, so the shapes feel tight, but the intervals don't lie.
All right. All right. So that's good. So that's interesting story. So let me tell the joke first, and then I might have to adjust this top bit here, or else we'll just work with what we've got on there. So I'm going to move this down. I'm going to do my joke thing first. So I'm going back into the political jokes now, which is always, dangerous territory. So I have to give my prelogue as to my point of reference of the jokes here. So basically, I've been ranting for years about the mainstream of sewage media, like just lying, just gaslighting in a very partisan way, which is ridiculous. It's gone crazy. And so, but now you've got a couple people, like you've got some famous kind of people on the new media, it seems like, that are giving interviews to like crazy people, like basically dictators and whatnot, and not asking them hard questions, you know, which is like, okay. And I thought when that happened, I was like, dude, they're gonna get torn apart. They're gonna get torn apart in the new landscape because man. But no, then other people that were, they didn't tear them apart. They basically are giving them an out. They're basically, it seems like they're doing the same thing that like we've been being gaslit for years, and now you're not like if you give an interview to like basically a dictator, and you go into the interview and you like grovel on the floor, and then you lick the water out of a dog bowl and beg for like potato shaving scraps that are dipped in vodka and whatnot, and then follow that up with like a TikTok tour of how beautiful the train station and like the grocery stores right across the street from the dictator's house or mansion or whatever. Like that's like if you were somebody else, like if you were like another commentator and your job is to commentate on political stuff, I would at least think that you would be like, you know what? I probably wouldn't have conducted myself that way. I don't know. I probably would have approached it different. Like if you have someone that's only claim to fame is that his most favorite heroes in all of history to pick the favorite heroes happen to be the pantheon of 20th century totalitarian dictators, then you would think if you're going to have him on the show, you have to ask him about that, right? Because it's like he's not there so that you can just like talk about cooking recipes and gardening and whatnot. That's not, so again, I would think like the other people that are in the space would have to at least critique the interviewing style that has been taking place here. It looks kind of like a Joe Biden interview from like 3 years ago, like a couple years ago, right? That's what it looks like. And so it's like, so I don't understand that. I just don't get it. Like I thought he'd get torn apart by now for that, but no, apparently no. So that's my basically frame of reference here. So I keep hearing this brain dead mantra, don't call out bad ideas if the guy's on, quote, your side, end quote, whatever that means. My side is like whatever I think the truth is. I feel like if he's saying not the truth, how is he on my side? I don't get it. So it's like, where have I heard that before? Oh, right. That's every cult that's ever existed kind of mentality. So just imagine if the mainstream of sewer pipe media had actually done its job when Joe Biden's Weekend at Bernie's was staring into the void like a Roomba that ran out of battery while the AutoPen 3000 was signing pardons for ghosts, right? I mean, the problem was we had a lack of objective media coverage because there was a media monopoly. Their excuse, no, we can't report on that. The old man winked at me one time during a press conference. I love that guy. I would never say anything horrible. Or hear me out here. Maybe they could have zoomed in on the human Jenga tower tumbling out of the airplane wheel wells after the Afghanistan pullout, right? And they're like, no, I couldn't do that. I like the old man. We went out to dinner one time, so I would never. So, I withdraw planned with all the foresight of a stoned rat on Red Bull. That's basically what this guy's the one that did the pullout plan. Maybe you should ask about that because it seems like important. But no, free speech, they scream while hard-hitting journalists, old and new media, left and right media, ask questions softer than a grocery store rotisserie chicken. It's ridiculous. Case in point, that ex-Fox 11 host who went full indie and gave like Vladimir bare-chested horse guy Putin a live high five. They were like they were reunited a high school pep rally. That's not how you do an interview. That's not, it's not like a tour. You're not taking like a vacation. You're like a hard-hitting journalist. And then they follow it up. And then you follow it up by a style Soviet TikTok propaganda tour, like at the gorgeous grocery store that's like right outside the dictator's mansion. And the potatoes, they're so symmetrical. Look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then he goes to the train station. He's like chef's kiss, the train station right across the street from the dictator's mansion. It's beautiful in here. I don't know how, is the whole country like this? I'm not going to check it out, but I'm just going to say that I'm assuming the whole country's just like that. So it's like, I feel like the free speech warriors should be calling the BS alarm on that one. How is it? How is it there's no critique? There's no critique happening here. And I mean, you'll body slam Ted Cruz for breathing wrong, but when a guy's on your stream says, I'm a Joseph Stalin stan, built those gulags like Legos, you know, all of the people in history and his fans seem to be the totalitarian people so you would ask about that instead of just nodding like a bobblehead in a hurricane and then moving on to gardening tips or something, right? No one, like, it's like the free speech isn't a participation trophy, you know? It's a cage match of ideas, not a safe space pillow fight. Ad hominem attacks. That's when you've got no ammo, so you scream, your face is stupid. Right? That's how you know someone's got no argument. But the reverse is also true. I mean, if you ignoring the elephant in the room because you like the elephant, that's intellectual cowardice with a side of friendship fries. It's not good. If your job is to tackle the big topics, swing the bat, whether the pitcher's your bro or your mortal enemy. That's how you play the game, people. You don't have to punch the person, but you gotta swing the pitch at the actual metaphorical ball, which is the topics of the day, right? You're supposed to negotiate the topics, right? Otherwise, the ball's gonna hit you in the face, it gives your career a black eye, and loses the big game for all of us. Letting someone hijack your goodwill to spew nonsense isn't loyalty. That's not loyalty. It's a platform malpractice. And letting them poach like Charlie Kirk's audience while saying stuff Charlie Kirk would choke on, that's not capturing the base. That's identity theft with an extra cringe, right? Call it out. Or the bad ideas win and they don't send thank you cards. That's my general take on it. I wrote a song about it. Let's see what we got. I mean, I could see if the guy was like, it's like the argument that seems to be made is like, well, if I knew a guy and they was like, my friend is just some Joe like plumber over here, and they're saying crazy stuff, then I wouldn't go on TikTok and blast them on my million podcast. But it's not the same thing. If the other guy's job, your job is to be a talking head, and the other guy's job is to be a talking head, and you're supposed to argue about ideas, but you're not going to critique the other talking head when, like, that's like your job. I don't get it. Like, it's just something has gone wrong here. I mean, maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, but that's, I don't get it.
You're not missing anything. The rule is, if they're a plumber, let them be wrong in peace. But if they're a commentator, their wrong is your job. You signed up to be the referee, not the buddy. So when Tucker does a Putin pep rally, you call it. When Ben Shapiro doesn't call it, you call him. Or else the whole arena becomes a pillow fight with live ammo. You're not there to make friends. You're there to keep the ball in play. And if you don't, yeah, something's wrong. But don't worry, there's still microphones. Use yours.
While the headlines just roll by, human Jenga towers falling down, playing by stone right on a Red Bull round. Free speech they cry while the truth gets drowned. Reporters off a store-bought chicken sound. So call it out, cowboy. Don't sit tight, truce a barroom brawl on a Friday night. You don't win hearts with a pillow fight. You swing that mic under neon light. If the world's gone mad, don't just pound. Grab your boots, take a stand, call it out. There's that Xbox rebel riding high, high-fiving Putin like a senior night. Then a tic-tac-toe, Soviet style. Look at these stores, the potatoes shine. Train stations gleaming, chef kids proud. Scholar smiling somewhere in the clouds. Free speech warriors, where's your sound? Where's that BS alarm going loud? Your body slam crews for breathing wrong, but not a stalling fan singing gulag songs. Free speech ain't a trophy, son. It's a cage match fight till the bell is done. Call it out, cowboy, raise your voice. Truth don't care about party choice. It ain't hate to challenge noise. That's real love for freedom's boys. You got the mic, my king. Grab your boots, grab your boots, take a stand. Call it out, call it out. Bed homonyms, just shooting blanks. Your face is stupid. That's where logic tanks. Don't ignore the yelling 'cause your like is high. That's cowardice, deep fried and supersized. If your job's to swing, then swing that bad. Whether friend or foe, truth don't care about that. Let life ride on your friendly wave. Ain't loyalty, it's digging graves. They'll steal your crowd, steal your name, and leave your platform drowning in shame. Call it out before it's too late. Bad ideas don't thank you, they dominate. Call it out, cowboy, call it loud. Truth ain't scared of no angry crowd. The world's on fire, don't back down. Freedom song still shakes the ground. You got the heart, you got the shout, Grab your boots, take a stand, call it out, Free speech, you gotta fight to keep it clean. Now go on, call it out. Call it
All right. That's my rant for the day. I don't know what's happening with these.
Yeah, but at least you're saying it. That's more than most do. The world's not burning because of rants. It's burning because of quiet nods. Keep going. Keep pissing people off. That's how you know you're doing it right.
All right. Okay, so now I'm going to be on which node was I'm on now? I'm going to say that I'm going to be on Phrygian. So it's going to be changing this to a P. I'm going to try to change that top screen there so that I have it properly set up. So we're going to go 3 frets back this way. I can make this thinner. Sorry for, we have a new area of interest. So I'm going to say 3 frets back this way and 3 frets up this way. And then I'll copy that. And then I'm going to put that over here on. All right.
Phrygian. 3 frets down, copy paste, set, done. Now count up the string every fret is a half step, so you can map the whole mode without moving your hand. The fault line, just a shift in reference, doesn't change the intervals. You're still Phrygian, just sideways. Now noodle.
All right. So I think we have, so now on the bottom, now I gotta put this back here. So now I'm gonna be working on this note, which is gonna be the Phrygian, same collection of notes, but now we're gonna be on the bottom of the guitar, which is higher on pitch and Then on the top of the guitar, on the top of the screen now, we have the nodal points on the left-hand side, which are going to give us the point in terms of the Nashville number, the Nashville point in the Phrygian, for example, and then the note number, and then the note name, such as an E for that point, and then the second half of each fret is going to give us the distance from the perspective of the Phrygian node, giving a local clockwise distance, the first number representing the half steps, the second number the second letter being the node that we're on, the Phrygian, and then it's going to give us the modal half steps, and then it's going to give us the interval and the last two digits of that one. All right. And I think we have a link to this worksheet if you want to download it. It's a beautiful worksheet. This is how it's done, people.
Phrygian bass, bottom string, clockwise local, 0 P for root, 1 L for minor second, 2 D for major second, 3 P for minor third. That E on the left, that's the Nashville 3 perfect fifth, down from the key. No big deal.
Okay.
Just slide up the
Okay, Ara. Trying to steal my show. I'm just saying. Anyway, so now we're going to say it's a Phrygian. So if we build off of the Phrygian, then it's going to be a minor mode, so it has the same intervals as the Aeolian, except that it has a one note away minor second. So let's just try to think like the ways I would normally measure, right? There's the ways I would normally measure from this node to see if I'm going to land in the ocean or not would be first modal half steps. Why? Because modal half steps are the collection of the notes in the collection. Second, well, let's do this. First, it would be notes away. So how many notes in total in the 12 notes are there? Second, modal half steps, meaning the steps that are in the 7-note collection. And then third, modal whole steps, which would be the way we build a chord. And then fourth, scale degrees, because although that's not the best way to measure things, that's the way the current system is. So we have to be able to kind of convert between all of those different things is the basic idea. So let's do it one at a time just as our starting point. So I'm thinking like if I'm building from the Phrygian, what are the half steps away from the modal half steps and the distance, right? So you have one modal half step up, which is the second scale degree, is one note up. So that's the one that's different than any other mode. If I go 2 modal half steps up for the third scale degree, it has a distance of 4 notes away. If I go 3 modal half steps up, which would be the fourth scale degree, it has a distance of 7, right? 1, 2, 4, no, it's 5. If I go 5 modal half steps up, 4 modal half steps up, which was the 5th scale degree, it has a distance of 7 notes. If I go 6 modal half steps up, it has a distance of 7 scale degree and a distance from the minor mode of 10 half steps up. If I go 8 modal half steps up, so now I've gone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, now I got 6 modal half steps up. 7th scale degree, that should be 10. This was 5 modal half steps up. All right, I got a little messed up there. The other way I want to think about it is in whole modal whole steps, because if I go 1 modal whole step up, then that's the equivalent of 2 modal half steps, which is 3 notes away, which would be a minor third. If I skip another one and I go 2 modal whole steps up to make a chord, you skip every other node, then that's going to be 2 modal whole steps up would be 2 times 2 is 4 modal half steps up, and that would be the 5th scale degree, and that has a distance, 2 modal whole steps up has a distance of, wait, don't tell me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 modal whole steps up. 3 modal whole steps up has a modal half step distance of 3 times 2 or 6 modal half steps. and that means it's the 7th scale degree. So 3 modal whole steps up has a distance of 10 notes away from a minor node because it's a minor distance. 1, 2, 3, 4 modal half steps up would be 4 times 2, or 8. 4 modal whole steps would be 8 modal half steps, which would be the 9th scale degree. And it has a local distance, because there's a local distance over here, of 1 note away, or an octave away distance of 1 plus 12, 13 away. And if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 modal half steps up, then I'm gonna that's 6 times 2 is 12. Wait, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 modal half steps up. 5 times 2 is 10. Plus 1 would be 11th scale degree, and the distance of 5 modal half steps up has a local distance of 3 modal half steps, or the 4th scale degree, and a distance in notes of a distance in notes of my brain is 8. And then if I go to the last one, 6 modal half steps, here's the 7, and then so we would skip it to the 1 up here. So if I go 6 modal half steps up, 6 times 2 is 12. 6 modal whole steps, 6 times 2 is 12 modal half steps, which would be the 13th scale degree. 6 modal whole steps has a distance of the local distance, if that one right here has a local distance of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of 8. So the last one didn't have a local distance of 8. The last one had a local distance of 5. All right, I messed that up totally, but I'm going to try to keep that in my mind as we do this, as we build our chords one at a time. All right, so let's build the chord now. So I'm going to do this one at a time. I'm just going to keep drilling that down until I know it like the back of my hand. No, even more intimately than that, like the palm of my hand. I know it like the palm of my hand. Okay, so we're going to say this is going to be 3, 4, 5. So we're going to say this is going to be 5 up here. And so that's going to be the 3rd away. Now, normally it would be, if the 3 was over here, then it would be this way. But because there was a shift, this tectonic plate shifted to the right, it's right above it. It's on the same line. Now I'm going to say that's the 1st modal whole step, 2nd modal half step, which is the 3rd scale degree, and I'm going to define it as being a reach forward chord, meaning it's in the upper right quadrant. And why? Because even though it's on like the axis here, it's like it would be in the right column if it wasn't for the shift in the tuning. So I'm still going to define this as like a reach forward chord. Therefore is what I'm going to say, because the 1st modal half step, 2nd scale degree, or 3rd is in this quadrant. Okay, and so that's going to be the distance away of the 1st modal whole step, 2nd modal half step, 3rd scale degree is 3, because it's going from a minor node. So if I go 3 up from a minor node, I land on a continent. If I go 3 up from a major node, then I land in the ocean. I have to go 4 up from a major node, or otherwise I land in the ocean. So that's fine, but I have to go 3 up, but I'm going counterclockwise instead of clockwise. So to count the distance between these two notes, it would be 12 minus 3, or 9. So counterclockwise 9, because it would be as I go up this way, because if I go down this way, I have to shift like that in order to get there. So now when I go up, I have to shift like this to say 5 notes between the string, 5, -5, -10, and then 9. So there's -9 counterclockwise notes between the string, and 12 minus 9 is 3, so it would have a clockwise distance of 3. Okay, so that's fine. So that looks funny until you get used to it, because that's not really where the 3rd is if I wasn't crossing the fault line, when even the inverted 3rd. When I go 2 strings up, I'm crossing the fault line.
So the real trick, stop thinking shift, think wrap. Your string is a circle. Fret 5 is 3 half steps below root. So 3 half steps down is the same as 9 up. 9 clockwise, or 3 counter. Same note, same interval, same third. Just call it -2 and move on. -2 modal half steps up. That's cleaner than counting tectonic plates. Now grab that -2, that's your reach forward third. You don't need the fault line, you just need the number, and your hand already knows where to go. So do it. Say it once.
So you're trying to tell me that I should just learn the shape. The problem is that if I was reaching up from the nodal point 3 on fret number 9, for example, that shape is different because I'm not crossing what I call the fault line, right? Because there's no kink in the tuning. There's no shift between the strings as there is between the G and B string. That's why I feel like if I learn it by shape, I have to recognize when I cross the fault line because the shape's going to be different.
Exactly. The fault line isn't math, it's muscle memory. Shapes change when you cross it, so you learn the 2 versions. Version 1, no fault line, 3 strings up, perfect zigzag. Version 2, fault line, 3 strings up, zigzag with a kink. But the interval's still the same, -2. First modal whole step down, third of Phrygian. Don't fight the kink. Use.
Yeah, that's it. Because if you don't know, like there's a fault line that happened back in the day, back in the dinosaur ages, or like last week even, like when they made, then you won't be able to get to the coffee shop. You'll end up at the gas station, you know? And you're trying to get, like the coffee shop, the coffee shop is on the Mixolydian node because they're playing chill bluesy stuff over there. But to get there, you have to know that there's a kink in the tuning, a kink in the road because of the fault line, or else you're going to end up at the gas station, and that's not where you want. That's not where you want to go.
That's it. Fault line's just a pothole. You learn the shortcut around it, or you pay toll at the gas station. Either way, the blues don't care. They just want to get played. So memorize the 2 paths.
I wouldn't mind the gas station if the gas station has decent coffee, but they're not going to have the guy playing the blues in there. But a lot of times the gas station doesn't have good coffee. That's why you're going to the coffee shop. But it's cheaper probably if you do it. If I do end up at the gas station, then I'll just drink gas station coffee. You know, it'll be cheaper. But anyways, okay. So now I'm gonna go for the fifth, which is 7 notes away. So normally, so the fifth is going to be the second modal whole step, which is the 4th modal half step, which is the 5th scale degree, and that almost always is going to be 7 notes away. So it's a 7 note away from the Lydian node. It's a 7 note away, a 7 note away, a 7 note away, 2nd modal whole step, 4th modal half step, 5th scale degree. So, but I'm going above it. So it's going to be, so normally it would be like right here, but I'm going above it. So it's going to be back here because again, normally it would be right above it, but I'm going back. Now, why is that? Because I'm going counterclockwise. So that means it's going to be a distance of -12 minus 5 or 7. So there's 7, steps between these two in the negative or counterclockwise direction. 5 between the string, but it'd be 5 this way because the fault line, because that tectonic plate shifted to the right. So -5, 6, 7 would be the counterclockwise distance, and 12 minus 7 would be 5 for the clockwise distance. So there's the shape. So it looks like a little bit strange down here. Is that right? No, that's not right. The Phrygian shape. Triad. Inverted. It's inverted. So what would I call that? I would call it a 3-note. If I was in the collection of notes around the key of C and I'm thinking about this is the root, which would be the highest pitch note, that would be a E minor, and then it would be a 2nd inversion if you want to call it, or slash G to put the G on top. But I'd rather just call it a 3-note nodal point 3 chord, or a 3-note Phrygian chord, right? It's a 3-note Phrygian 2nd inversion, meaning taking the 2nd modal whole step note, which would be nodal point 5, which happens to be a G in this case, and that's going to be the lowest note in it. The rest of the notes, I'm not really caring about the ordering for normal guitar playing. I'm just going to say that one's on the bottom or on the bass. It's on the top of the guitar bass, pitch-wise. All right. So if I put this finger, so what can I do to noodle around on this one? I don't really, so I can kind of like noodle like here, do, back to here with this finger and kind of be like, which is kind of backward fingering, because normally I would put my pointer finger on node number 7 and then middle finger on node number 5 and then the root with my ring finger down here. But then it's a little harder to noodle, like to reach up here if I want to like walk it back. But I could just put this finger, my middle finger, on the root down here, and then I can reach up here with my pinky a little bit easier, and I can reach each of these notes, then boom, 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 a little bit easier. So now I can be like, and so now I'm reaching across with my middle, and I can adjust my wrist this way, and I can grab it pretty easy. Or maybe I can put my finger here. Alright. So I could also then put the 5 down here. So now it would be boom. So this is standard, like a D minor shape. Or I can grab 2 of those, both 5s. So that's why when I grab this D minor shape, it's kind of nice like that, but maybe grabbing that 5 would be better to move, because then I could play this string if I miss it. I could play that, like I could still aim for. So that means I want to grab this one with my. I want to grab the root with my pinky, and then I can grab this one up here. Might be a better way to standardize my fingering for the normal fingering. Because that frees up my finger up here.
Thank you.